Tuesday tour day. Let's do a quick tour of the garden. It's about to get dark. Just watered, so. This is my perennial and herbs garden. Got some new stuff planted in there. A few new things over here. Then we've got our tomatoes, all heirloom varieties. And amongst those we have some spinach. Just kind of keeping the space covered. A little bit of leafy greens. Getting bigger. And we've got the Brussels sprouts are coming in nice. And the turnips behind those. Those need to be thinned out again, it looks like. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually get turnips. This is my first time trying them, so if not, we'll just pull them all out and plant something else next to the Brussels sprouts. And then there's our kale. Purple kale is finally starting to get a little bit bigger. And there's my fancy salad kale. And that'll get harvested. Probably mid-season I'll pull them all out and put more of this in there. My curly green kale. I love my curly kale. I love kale chips, so I'll plant more of that in the summertime for a fall crop. And we've got our onions. They're looking pretty good. A little bit weedy on the bed, but that's okay. And next to the onions we've got our cucumbers finally transplanted. And next to the cucumbers is the sunflowers. And this is where we had the sunflower fortress. All of our sprouts were getting eaten by rodents. I guess sunflower sprouts are really tasty. So we put the fortress over top of it and waited until they all had their second set of leaves, and now they're doing alright. Oh, hi Zoro. Okay, that's the first row of beds. And if we turn around here, we've got our corn. They're starting to look like corn stalks. Definitely a little weedy here, but it won't matter once they get taller. Just pull out the big stuff and leave the small stuff because it keeps the soil covered. Oh, and check this out. We've got some volunteers under here, under the smoker. I'm not really sure what they are. They could be pumpkins or maybe zucchinis. We've had a few different kinds of squash here. Plus it is in front of the compost, so something could have been dragged out of the compost and rot there. And really, it could be anything, but I'm gonna leave it and see what it is. And under there we have our second planting of corn. We decided to cover them because the birds were getting at the seeds. So much for our experiment. At least we know they sprout when they're covered. And for the second row of beds, we've got peas, doing really good. These are an heirloom variety of snow peas, and they're quite large. Like, the leaves are very, very big. They have a nice pattern on them. Not seeing any flowers come up yet, but they have reached the top of the rainbow trellis, so we'll probably have to add a couple more loops so they can climb a little bit further up. And this giant spinach, you've got to see these leaves. Look at the size of these leaves. Some of them are bigger than my hand. And they're still really tasty, even that big. but we've been sharing with the rabbits and the chickens and the goats. Really good stuff. I can't remember what variety that is, but I'd definitely grow that again. Carrots. You're getting taller. Definitely looking like some carrots now. And my favorite bed right there, the leafy greens. Alright, so this is the mesclun mix that I got from West Coast Seeds. It's kind of like a succession crop, so the earlier leaves are already picked off of it. And these are the varieties of lettuce that are left. They're all tender and delicious. And then these ones here have a little bit of spice to them. They're getting pretty big, but the animals still eat them. And my romaines. Looks like somebody's been picking some holes in there. And we've got a raven that seems to hang out here, and for whatever reason he's just picking on my romaines. He seems to be leaving everything else alone. But I guess birds gotta eat too. We got the rainbow Swiss chard. There's some pink in there, some yellow, and the red is doing really good too. All that good stuff. So this is all harvestable right now. We have been picking out of this bed, but we definitely could pull a bunch more out. Collard greens. And the beets. The beets can be harvested for their greens also, especially this variety here. And they're coming in thick, so we can definitely start harvesting off of those. Not making beets yet, I don't think, but they're getting there. Got a different variety of beets here. You can see the stems aren't quite as red as the other ones. And now up to the front garden. My lilacs are almost done. It always makes me sad every year when they're finished. They're my favorite. They're starting to turn brown though. I love these columbines. They're so cool looking. We got some herbs. They're all starting to leaf out. You can kind of tell what they are now. And then I found this sprout. I'm not sure if it's actually a chamomile or it could be a pineapple weed, I suppose, but I'm gonna leave it and find out because I did have chamomile seeds in here and I didn't think any of them went. I've got a bare patch here. Once these tomatoes get a little bit bigger, I'm gonna plant some leafy greens in here so that they'll be shaded for when it gets a little bit warmer in the next few weeks. And we got strawberries. We've also got some radishes. You can kind of see they're starting to make little radishes in there. So we can start snacking on those pretty soon, probably in the next week. And berries. Lavender, onions, more herbs. Oop. The tomatoes from back east are doing alright. The dragon tongue beans looked like they rotted, so I threw a few more and we'll see if they go. If they don't, in the next little bit, then I'll just throw some herbs in this pot. And this is the cucamelons. Tiny little sprouts. They took forever last year too, so hopefully they go. And then our poolside strawberry bucket. And these ones have a different color flower on them. These ones are pink. I like them, they're pretty. Alright, so down in this bed here, we did plant beans last week and it looks like they're all coming up. Most of them anyways. And those are yellow beans. They're our favorites, so they're the only ones we planted here this year. And of course the potatoes. Getting huge. Some of the acorn squashes that we planted are starting to go. I'm not sure if they'll be stunted or not. Oh, the middle one might go. Just a few random things here. Our melon bed is still waiting for the melons. As you can see, it's nice and clean and free of weeds. Jerry used the flame weeder on it about a week after tilling and killed all the grass out of it, so we might do that one more time before planting. And our leftover potato patch. Not bad for leftovers, hey? They're getting pretty big too. We planted those a couple weeks after the main ones and they're pretty much catching up. Alright, so that's it. That's the whole garden. Almost forgot about the rhubarb. It's still big and beautiful. Looking really good. My boys want some of this good stuff or what? Huh? You want some good stuff? Are you sure you're goats and not pigs? You sound like piggies. Be nice, Zoro. You be nice, silly boy. Yeah, good boys. Okay. That's it. You had lots of snacks today. I forgot about the sunroom. Huh? All the plants in the sunroom. I brought everybody in because it's supposed to rain tonight. Good night, little chicken. Good night, little girl. It's bedtime. You can go play with the goats tomorrow. Okay, fine.